But humanity is more and more fucked every year.
Yeah, I can see why the older generation, keeps repeating that.
Yeah, but this has been like a phenomenon for centuries, where the previous generation deemed the coming generation to be.
Oh, for sure. But I feel like this time they're onto something.
No, you feel that because it's your.
Every generation felt like that, Joey.
Yeah, there's literally like newspaper articles of like the early 1800s being like, these new generations have no manners. They can't function.
They're
in modern day
walking around
society.
showing ankle.
Yeah, and then then the next generation does the same thing. And this is a perpetual thing where obviously the newer generation are going to evolve. And it's up to us to
evolve. You mean grow up?
No, evolve. Like what their tastes are.
You mean like Pokemon?
Yeah.
Like what?
Our dad wasn't jacking
Human
off.
is evolving.
Our dad wasn't jacking into a Tenga. You know what I mean? That's a new development.
Yeah.
Jackhammers, phone holders. That's a new generation. They're evolving.
But I will say, yes, definitely every generation for the past couple of centuries have been saying that about the newer generations for sure. But I feel...
No, you're falling into the trap, Joe.
You
feel
are.
like we're the different one. The next one really is fucked.
No, but we were talking about the lessening of optimism in the newer generation, right?
That is
and
true.
how
That's
everyone is
true.
becoming more doomerish.
Yeah, I think so.
Has that happened in previous generations? Maybe not. Maybe they have, but maybe not to the same extent as it is now, because we're running into.
I actually feel like
things like
as
internet.
millennials, we started that trend. Boomers just kind of went with the depression trend, and we're just actually we can do it better than you millennials.
We ran so Gen Zs could walk.
I'm sure there was somebody in 1910. They were like, "Oh boy, gee, in America, I can't wait to join the job market next year." Boom, Great Depression. No jobs for you. Everyone is starving. 3 or 4 years this shit lasts for. Yeah, I'm sure they would probably think, well, we had it fucking bad.
Obviously. But say for our generation, right? Like millennials.
Yeah.
Was it so much of a common idea between people of our generation, I guess the newer generation, to be as doomery or sad about our future compared to this newer generation?
Well, also we didn't have to fucking kill each other. You talk to the older generation, and they went through fucking several wars.
Yeah, but I'm not comparing it to that.
And they look at our generation. I'm like, what the fuck did you have war with?
Well,
Coughing?
clearly, yeah, clearly. But I'm talking about this newer generation now.
Yeah,
right.
Well,
the newest generation. Why is there suddenly so much of a bigger shift?
I think there's
the world is fucked.
I think there's just a lot more shared experience, and also, there was definitely houses were and stuff like that. House rent and whatnot was definitely rising 20 years ago, but obviously
For sure, yeah.
there wasn't as many people talking about it online and arguing about it. Also, you have to bear in mind that 20, 30 years ago, it was kind of seen as a bad thing to be I can't afford this, or
this might
complain about money.
be
But nowadays it's hey, can you also not afford rent?
This might be
I can't afford rent.
completely anecdotal because I have no evidence to back this up.
I
But
mean, this is all pure speculation.
yeah,
for the record.
for me. But I think just existing has never been harder.
Yeah.
just the act of existing, maybe that you had some bad times like the Great Depression, obviously.
Bad times.
As we
The
like
big Sag.
as we like to call it, the big Sag.
Okay. Okay. We should have the Great Depression too. No, we shouldn't have that. We
What?
should call it something better, not the Great Depression.
The big Sag.
Yeah, we
No,
call it the
should
big
have no,
Sag.
if we have another one, we should.
The big
Oh.
Sag.
No, we should.
We'll call it the big Sag. The big Sag of the 2030s.
Yeah, maybe.
It's a 100-year cycle.
When did they coin the term Great Depression? Was it during the time?
Well, it was happening in the 30s, right?
Well, this is a good question of did they call it because it was called the Great War, World War One, and they asked when did they start referring to it as World War One?
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I think long after
That-
World War
that-
II.
that-
Well, it's probably not until World War II, right?
But I think it was sometime after as well. It wasn't immediately after. They weren't I remember one. This is the sequel.
Yeah.
I think it was. There was a good video about it. I can't remember what it's called.
Right.
But I mean, that doesn't fucking matter. It's stupid figuring out when shit was named.
But I wonder, what are they going to name?
It's based on a book called The Great Depression by Hoover.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, or
What are they going to
Rollins,
name COVID times, you reckon, when historians look back and think,
COVID, pandemic. I don't know.
this isn't the first pandemic we've been through, though, right?
This is the first global pandemic in a very long time.
I mean, there was the Black Death as well, but that was only in Europe.
That only wiped out like a third of humanity.
And also, if you remember that, like, this is the first pandemic that's been available, that's very easily spread in the modern travel era, where people can just get, like, I can be in Australia tomorrow.
Yeah, it was kind of difficult to travel in the 1300s.
You know, back then, they, like, I think in like, I think one of the wars, there was like, there was a kind of influenza that was wreaking havoc.
Yeah.
But that was localized to Europe at that time, right? Because there wasn't people like flying all over the fucking place, spreading it to their like, whoever and everyone. So yeah, it's I mean, it's interesting. I think it's weird because like obviously we're in very good financial places, but I still feel like holy shit, like buying a house is still a hard thing to do.
Oh yeah, it's
which
scary.
is like crazy. I'm like, oh my god. When I look back at brochures, they're like, yeah, we'll ship you a house and you build it for $10,000. I'm like, what?
It's a giant Lego set.
Yeah, they used to sell made-to-order houses. They would just send you the parts and you build it. This is the thing in America. I thought it was crazy. That's so cool. We can't do that now.
That's insane.
Yeah, there's made-to-order houses that that were in America. That's prefab, but I think that's what probably come up. Yeah, you could literally get sent, and they would send you all the things in like crates, and you would presumably just build it.
Oh my god, this is like IKEA nightmare mode.
This is your final. This is your final boss.
Mail
Joey.
order.
Yeah.
After this is where the Lego
I'm training up with the Legos, and this is the final
Look
boss.
at this mail order house. It's beautiful.
That's a nice house.
Holy shit!
You know, obviously, and even with inflation, it was still way more affordable than houses nowadays.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It's crazy though. But that's back when everyone just, I guess, somehow knew how to build a house.
Yeah.
It was $2,000 in 19 something, which even with inflation wouldn't come close to 1960. 16. What's $2,000 in 1916 in today's money? Could you have a look?
2 million.
Just type it in. There's like calculators that tell you.
No, I've been recommended more and more videos of just people living on the road in fucking vans and caravans and shit.
That feels like a kind of subconscious like struggle answer to this world we live in, where it's like I can't fucking pay
$31,000. That's nothing.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
What the fuck? Cars are more expensive.
Yeah, I mean, could you guys ever do that? Like, just pack up. Okay, number one, I find this concept really interesting because I don't know how many other countries you can get away with doing this aside from America. Because it's funny because I've actually met people that have done that life. When I went back to Wisconsin this year, Sydney's like extended friendship circle had like some new people join, and they had a year or maybe 2 years. Just literally, they sold everything they owned, put everything into a van, and just traveled the road and just lived on the road for 2 years. And after 2 years, they just hit Wisconsin and were like, I think we've had enough traveling. Let's just get an apartment.
That's
here.
badass.
It's fucking badass, but holy shit, it made me realize how OP America is, because I couldn't like imagine like traveling. Imagine because
England in a week.
Yeah. Imagine doing that in England or some shit. Because they were like, yeah, we started off in like West Coast, went up north, went all the way to Alaska for like a bit, like drove back down, and I'm like,
yo, drive through Canada as well.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, that sounds fucking badass.
I mean, we kind of in a sense did like a light version of that on the US tour, right? Like we were in that bus for 50 days.
I don't think I can.
And considering that I enjoyed the tour the most, I could probably do it.
I need to be stationary to do anything. Like I like having a zone.
Yeah.
My little save point where I'm like, this is where I like subconsciously, this is where I clock in and out of life.
Right.
I need that.
But wouldn't you say that that's the little personal van and personal vehicle that you have?
No, because you're never truly stationary, right? You're always subject to someone else's rules, right? If you park in this place, all right, how can you park here, or what can you do? Yeah, if you put it in the middle of the fucking desert, okay. But then what if something goes wrong? You know, what if you pop a tire in the middle of the fucking desert for some reason you're driving there?
Yeah.
I don't know, there's so many factors.
So that's like city boy mentality all the way. Because I absolutely agree.
Yeah,
I would be terrified of that shit.
I care too much about everything that could go wrong, and I think you cannot care about shit going wrong if you want to live that lifestyle.
Yeah.
You need to like almost disregard, oh, how am I going to shower? How am I going to do laundry? Like, I'm sure then they work it out, right? Because they're like, but to me, I wouldn't even want to embark on this unless I figured it all out. And I wouldn't even want to go on it unless I figured out the route, which is like psychotic, and I just can't do it. Like to me, it wouldn't Yeah.
So you don't have a manly urge to drop everything and just build a cabin in the woods and just fucking survive on the wilderness.
Are you kidding me? I would love to do
But,
that.
like,
The
at the end-
first thing I'm doing when I retire, bro.
Well, I like too many of the modern comforts. I'm only human. I like a lot of them, and I that's how it is. And I think there's nothing wrong with that.
There's totally nothing
I
wrong
fucking
with
love a good meal and I love a good coffee.
That's
And
true.
that's what
true.
matters most.
Ain't
to
nothing
me.
wrong with that, dog.
That's nothing wrong with that as well. But the more I grow older, the more I'm like, yeah, that manly urge is real. I don't know if it's an actual manly urge, but
It's just an urge.
Yeah.
I just really want to
Is
do
there
it.
more so an urge that you want to have that life, or that you are not content with what is currently happening in life and the cycle you're in?
No, I think
Where
it's
does it
more
stem
so
from?
like I'm very much, the urge is in the future for me. Like
Right.
I am
Yeah.
completely content with my life now, and I'm very happy with where I am now in my life, and I would like to continue it for as long as possible. But I know there's going to be a point where I'm probably going to hit a wall where I'm just like, I need some change in my life.
Cheese.
Or cheese,
oh jeez.
I need some change in my life. I need some kind of radical change in my life, whether it be for my mental health or whether it be just to like, if I'm still doing a creative job, it's always
Yeah.
a nice change of pace to like switch your environment.
It's
right?
it's just nice. I don't know. I like the thought of just removing all complexities from your life. I mean, I guess I've done it once before, but that was like a very, very extreme version of just removing all external complexities. This is kind of like a lighter version where you're kind of just doing your own thing. You're living to, you're just living, man. You're just living out there.
I'd be happy like camping for a month. It'd be fun.
Yeah.
The
Would
joy,
you?
Yeah, the joy I get from making a fire and cooking a meal on that fire.
Yeah, but think about it. If you lived in a van, you could do that anywhere you want,
Yeah.
whenever you want.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
but
As long as you're not in someone's backyard, you could do that wherever you want.
bro,
Doesn't that sound awesome?
America has so much land, man.
fuck yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, but I'm like, okay, I'd rather just travel around it, and I don't know. When I see these van videos, sometimes it just makes me depressed
Why?
because I look at it and I'm like, wow.
You don't have an espresso machine, you poor thing.
You can install
Some
one
of
in
them-
the van. That's the first thing you
Some of them
can
look a lot
do.
better than others, but sometimes
Yeah.
someone will show their van and it's like, it just looks really sad.
I mean-
it also looks lonely.
Okay, so there are different levels. Like I've also
Listen,
seen.
fucking Justin Bieber's tour bus. That's where I'm like, all right, let's do this. Let's do this, man. Like, can you show Justin Bieber's custom tour bus? This is where I can do the van life. All right, this is like.
And that's not a van at that point.
But I
bro.
saw this one where this woman had to like, she was like, I'm gonna shower
What
now.
the fuck?
Jesus
Yeah, but
Christ!
I think I can do the van.
That's a
life.
hotel room,
Yeah,
dog.
I can do the
Yeah,
van
that's a
life.
moving hotel room.
Yeah, I can do the van life.
Oh, if it was this, I could live in that for the rest of my life.
Like there's like so many levels to it, but it's basically what you're comfortable with. Because I've been recommended every level, which includes just guys who are living out of their cars in New York,
Living
And
out of their Mini Coopers.
No, like literally just living out of their cars. And
Yeah.
he's like, here's my apartment tour. And like, I think my favorite comment is just like, motherfuckers will be homeless in New York, but be like, but the food is really good though.
That's true. That's true.
Motherfuckers will literally live out of a shoebox, pay $3K
you know
for
what-
rent,
what
but
pisses
be
me
like,
off the most about New York when
Yeah.
they fucking tell me about their water. I don't give a fuck about your water and why it makes bread taste better. Stop fucking telling me.
Wait,
No one
what?
cares about your fucking water.
I haven't heard about this New York water thing.
Oh my god! If you talk to a New Yorker, they don't shut the fuck up about it. You're like, New Yorkers like, we got the best bread in all of America. I'm like, it's not that good. It's you think it's better than it is. And they're like, no, our water is scientifically proved. It's the best water in all of this. And it's like, no, I don't think so. I disagree. And they're like,
I think
it's
Scandinavia-
scientifically, and I'm like, have you been to Europe? No, but New York, we got the. And it's like, shut up.
Damn.
Did you notice this when we were in New York? Motherfuckers will never shut up about that damn water and why it makes bread taste perfect.
I never heard a New Yorker
Oh
talking
my
about
God.
their water. Maybe I got lucky.
I find it charming.
I summoned them in the comments. No, I found it charming at first, Calm.
Yeah.
Until you literally can't tell them their bread is not the best in the world. They won't take it, Khan.
It's like getting Nihongo Jozu, bro. It's charming at first, and then it gets fucking annoying.
You can't tell them that their bread's not the best in the world. They lose it. They self-destruct of rage.
We got the delis though.
I don't know. You go to a lot of parts in America, and some parts are more like the others. New York is one of the cities that I think has its own kind of culture, which I think
Absolutely, yeah.
which
totally.
I think it has a real unique identity to it, which is more than I can say for a lot of cities. in America, which is something I really, really respect about New York and New Yorkers as well, which is like an identity, you know?
Yeah.
I kind of like dig that.
Okay, but like, do you think that the whole van life stuff, because there's so many van life influences, which my brother's actually been inspired by.
Oh, yeah?
He's got his own van.
Oh, shit.
And he travels around. And it's fine.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's cozy.
Dude, my dream car is a combi van.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Volkswagen combi van. I really want one.
What is it? I don't know what he has, but it's good. For him, it was like, okay, well, he'll work on it a bunch, but my dad helped mostly.
Yeah.
But if I tell him that, he'll get annoyed, but it's true. But like for him, it's like, okay, that's more of a like, okay, we live in this place, we have a good time, and then maybe we do like week-long trips in this thing.
Yeah.
And for that, I was like, that sounds like a really healthy way. But when I'm like, you're living out of it, and then I see some of these videos, and I'm like, is this just like, I don't know, does it feel like the last option? Because it's like, I don't know what to do. Like to me, some of these videos just felt really sad when I watched them.
Why sad?
Because they just look lonely. They look so lonely.
Maybe they like that. Maybe they like
But
that,
they were-
like solidarity.
And this one video, this one person, they even said that. They were like, yeah, the hardest thing about doing van life is, it's the fact that you don't really get to talk with people or meet with people because you're always in a new place. But look, I installed a new shower in my van, and I was like, whoa.
But it's not.
I
But
feel
like
we glossed over the most important pressing factor of you
maybe
living in a van.
it's my perspective, but I've always looked at these like people who live out of these vans and go traveling the country or the world or whatever.
Yeah.
I've always seen it as like, well, isn't the point to like living in a van so that you can go see these new places and meet these new people? Like,
Okay.
isn't the social aspect really tied in with your lifestyle?
Yeah, but I guess some people maybe they didn't think about, because a lot of people never think about social life or being social. It's always an afterthought for everyone.
Right.
Well, yeah,
And maybe
because
they jumped on the van life. They were like, I'm just gonna fucking van everywhere.
Yeah,
And they thought,
maybe they're wrong,
Wait, how
wrong
do
intentions.
I maintain friendships here? Like,
Yeah.
How do
Yeah.
I have like a existence? Because ultimately we're all human and we all need to have friendships.
yeah,
Sure.
we're social creatures. Even the biggest introverts will crave social interaction every now and again because that is just how we survived and how we've evolved and how our brains are
I could give
wired.
up on the meat there.
I couldn't break it apart. That's fine.
You know, and that to me would be the biggest thing that I miss is like, how the fuck do I have any meaningful conversations or connections with people while I'm in a van?
Yeah,
I'm not in
Discord.
the same place. But that's like, why wouldn't I just stay home?
Yeah, but you can travel the world
And also
have Discord
sometimes,
friends.
you know, I know it's not a big deal, but I feel bad when some of the van people, I saw this dude who had like 3 pets, and I'm like, maybe you shouldn't have 3 pets in a van. I'm like, I know you can
I
stop.
don't know, the pets get to go on fucking
They get
adventures.
to
all
go,
the time.
crazy, but I'm like,
Yeah.
man, I feel bad when.
It depends what kind of pet as well.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, if it's a fucking
If it's 3 dogs, then I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
yeah.
Yeah, but I guess it also depends on type of dog as well. I guess.
Yeah.